Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the course on how to become a 3D illustrator. This time we'll be moving away a little bit from that simple box style that we did in the first episode, and actually we'll start to create more detailed objects, more detailed geometry, but keeping that low poly style that we are aiming for in this course. So what does low poly stand for? Obviously it's a low polygon, and it originated in a times where computers wasn't powerful enough to display a large number of vertices or polygons, and artists had to compromise to create the best results possible while maintaining a low poly count. Today we use this style in 3D illustrations to maintain that playful look that the old games and old graphics had, and it's still very popular among illustrators, and they use it on a large scale of graphics, infographics, web design, you name it. Now, when it comes to low poly graphics, most of the time we use something called flat shading, and I will show you on this example scene what it actually is. So when you select some object and click the right mouse button, the context menu, you can see there are two modes for shading. There is a shade smooth and shade flat. And if you switch to the shade smooth, you can see how the algorithm actually interpolates between the polygons and tries to create a smooth surface. But if you go into the edit mode, you can see there are still large polygons here. So when we switch to the shade flat, and that's what we use, you can see that the color information and the shadow information is calculated for each polygon and used for the whole surface of the polygon, and this enables this nice segmented gradation that we're looking for in the stylized look. There's one more thing to talk about here, and that's kind of maintaining the level of detail we want to have on the final scene. And what I'm talking about is the approximate size of the polygons that we have throughout the scene. And if you look closely on for example, the terrain, the trees and the road, you can see that the polygon or triangle size is maintaining this baseline size that we are aiming for as a level of detail for the whole scene. Of course, there are some smaller polygons like here on the rock to create smaller details, and that's perfectly okay. We need those to create some points of interest and create the more details. But when it comes to the baseline size of the polygons, we want to keep it as consistent as we can. In this episode, we're going to create this scene you can see right here. And I chose this because I think it's a great starting point to actually start with the more complex geometry and a little bit of organic modeling like the rocks and the trees, terrain and all that stuff. And the randomness of the nature allows for some more freestyle approach, and most of the time the results look great. Okay, so let's get started and let's create this amazing illustration.